That's a good note. So say you'd have more of a chance with beer than you would with vodka.
Bring the mic up. Bring the mic up. That's a good question. I think is that could you just survive? Is there enough nutrients in alcohol to survive? I don't think so.
Doubtful.
I really doubt it.
Look it up.
Because even just sitting around,
But I used to like.
doing nothing, you use nutrients up. Like you have to have certain amounts of. Okay, so let's see. Can you survive from alcohol alone?
I'd say I'm looking on beer because like they'd be more heavier, like or stouts, like.
I'm
Whereas like
doing
if you had
alcohol.
vodka or something like that, that would probably fuck you up. Like
I will allow.
Yeah, but
that
like
would
then
probably
you wonder,
dehydrate
can you
you
get
more than-
like, could you drink a Bloody Mary? You get some tomato in you.
Oh, geez, yeah. So you're allowed to have cocktails. Yeah, okay, this is a good point. Okay, here. So how long could a man survive on beer and water? Not more than a few months.
Few months.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's when the worst effects of scurvy and protein deficiency would kick in. Liver disease is a serious risk of chronic alcohol use, but this usually takes longer to arrive. And that's an article titled "The Budweiser Diet." Like Budweiser was looking into promoting this, and they're like, "Oh no, please!
Oh yeah, no, I'm looking. At
we
something.
cannot
we've done
recommend
the research.
But
strongly."
it says you'd likely die of dehydration in a matter of weeks.
Mike, close face. You would die of dehydration.
Yeah.
In a matter of weeks from drinking alcohol and beer.
Of days or weeks.
But why would you die of dehydration?
Because alcohol dehydrates you.
Oh, you're looking up beer and
Sorry,
water.
this guy said beer
Yeah.
and water. Okay, so,
So
just
you're,
beer.
You're just
That's
beer.
funny, isn't it? To think
Yeah.
that that's what would kill you first? Dehydration. You're like, I'm drinking all this beer.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, I know that, but it seems weird that you could drink a whole pint of a liquid and now you have less liquid in you. That seems almost impossible.
Jeez, I'd say I've gone like 4 or 5 days with just drinking, not eating.
Well, okay. Well, you're not dead.
That's not
so-
healthy.
No, I don't know what to say. It's like, you're
Fuck.
not dead, and that's not good, but we wish you the best. And
I couldn't even give a fuck.
yeah, clearly, or else you would have stopped. Okay, so let's watch this Masvidal
Alright, let's
video.
go.
So obviously, the Masvidal is like, he's doing interviews now off of the back of this knockout. This Ben Askren knockout. Fastest knockout in UFC history. So there's this kid who's part of the UFC who's called, I can't remember his name.
So I got one question for you. Why'd you do that to my dad?
Who's that?
My father is Ben Askren. Shout out.
What? Hey, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to, bro. That's really
all
your
good.
dad?
No.
Oh, okay, bro.
Yes for the video, yes.
Thanks a lot, man.
You're gonna have to cut that no part out.
For a second, you got me. That's shit, man. Hey, it's fake, man. It's just that UFC stuff is like WWE. Man.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Thank
hurt.
you very much, man.
What I love about that though is like that he for a second feels bad. He's like, "Oh shit," because he like apologizes to him. There's a
Yeah,
second
yeah.
where he goes, "Oh,
My dad.
You see it in his face.
Who's that?
My father is Ben Askren. Shout out.
What? Hey, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean
I'm
to,
sorry.
bro.
I didn't mean to."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get the most decisive knockout in UFC history. But whether he would act, because obviously that sentence makes no sense. He's like, "I didn't mean to knock your dad out."
Yeah.
Obviously, I totally
in this
did.
thing that I have to.
Yeah,
put
but he,
in
like he's
that-
a human. He's like confronted by the guy's child. He's like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, man. I didn't mean to knock your dad out." Which is so adorable for a professional fighter to say.
Look at his face there. Like he looks so guilty as well.
Yeah, he's like, "Who's your dad?" He's like, "My dad's Ben Askren." It's so funny because everybody calls this kid Ben Askren's son, even though he has nothing to do with Ben Askren. It's just that he has like hair like Ben Askren and he wrestles a lot. I think so. People associate him with it. But it's such a fucking excellent video, and just the look on his face where he's like, "What's his name?" I gotta look up the kid's name so you can find the video. Ben Askren. Chase Hooper. You just type in Chase Hooper and Ben Askren. Yeah, he's a great fighter as well. But that fucking moment is just so fucking brilliant. Did you see what Masvidal was wearing at the fight, at the Conor Cerrone fight? He showed up. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. He showed up wearing Conor McGregor's training robe during one of the the public workout sessions for the Floyd Conor fight. Connor was wearing, like, you know, when you're like doing interview or whatever, you're in your shorts for training, but you put on a robe or something over to keep you warm. So he's wearing a Versace robe, and fucking Masvidal showed up to the fight wearing that robe, like with nothing on under the top.
Nothing
he's
at all.
just, I don't know if he must have had pants on, or so, I don't know if he had pants or if he just had like underwear. Let's see, Masvidal robe.
Well, yeah, it's there.
Yeah, you could tell it's hot on the. And then all you could see is the headlines is Conor McGregor confused by Masvidal's outfit, because he kept asking. He's like, "What the fuck was that about?" It's like, why was he wearing that robe? Oh, he's got pants on. That's good to know. He's got leopard print pants on. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And he's just got no top. I mean, I suppose it would be weirder if he had a t-shirt on, maybe underneath the robe. I don't know. It's all weird. There's nothing normal about that. So he's got this Versace robe.
That's fucking weird.
And it is it's the exact same robe that Conor wore at some point. I am assuming he has the matching Versace pants. Maybe I'm wrong. But they seem to match the pockets. They match the pockets, I believe. But yeah, so he's sitting ringside. Him and Usman, they just kept zooming in on him and Usman. And yeah, he's just sitting there in his fucking robe. And I don't know, maybe he explains why, but I don't know. I don't think there's any good explanation. There's almost nothing he could say where I would
Put
be
him
like,
off, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess. I don't
Why
know.
the fuck's he wearing my clothes?
Yeah, he did. He said that. Well, someone hacked Kamaru Usman's Twitter account just before the fight and posted a bunch of shit about Conor's wife.
Apparently, I don't know if it was.
That's what Conor
That's
said.
what
It
he's
wasn't
saying.
hacked, but that's just they posted Kamaru Usman's bank account details and his PIN code on the internet, so it probably wasn't.
Man, I'd say he did that himself to like get out of it.
I doubt it was him. It would be like why would he bother? He posted some crazy things, and it's not like Usman. Usman is not that kind of dude. Conor said it was Usman's manager, because Usman has the same manager as Khabib. So Conor and Usman's manager have big problems. But he's the one that Conor was calling a rat. He's like, Ali, you filthy rat bastard.
Yeah.
Fucking you weaselly lying rat. That was when it got dark and he went off. But now everyone loves him again. His stock, if he was a fucking company, his stock would have fucking doubled last night. Oh my God. Or not last night, whenever, a few nights ago. It was phenomenal.
Well, Sunday, I suppose.
Outrageous. Yeah, Sunday for us, basically. They were talking about maybe doing the Khabib rematch in England. And possibly England.
England?
Yeah. And Conor was like, fuck that. He's like, if you get that close to Ireland, we're doing it in Dublin. He's like, that's fucking out. He's like, I love the UK, but that's outrageous. You're going to fucking have me fight right next to my home. It's just like, fair enough. I think they just want a venue. I don't know what's the largest venue in Dublin. Is
Croke Park.
How many people? Is it 80,000?
Croke
Croke Park. Yeah, between 80 and 100.
Yeah, so maybe if
do you not know Croke Park is like the third for a non-professional sport? Technically, it's got the like fourth or fifth
biggest in Europe.
Wow.
In Europe. Yeah.
But is it?
And it's only for like
will
hurling.
they do a UFC there? Because I don't know.
No, yeah, I don't think you could do.
That's what I'm saying. They'll
You
do
have
it.
to cover it in. Like
They
you say,
wouldn't
wouldn't
do. Oh yeah, but they do concerts and stuff.
They'll do it in Wembley.
Yeah.
Like you can have UFC in Wembley. So that's what I'm saying. Is that I don't know.
Yeah, but
if
Wembley's
Croke-
a smaller.
No, Wembley is one of them. Wembley, New Camp.
I'm pretty sure Wembley's
But
got like.
yeah, Wembley.
Wembley will take 80,000. No.
No, do you know what, man? When you said Wembley, for some reason, I was
think
thinking about Wimbledon.
I think Wembley.
I was like,
And
I was like, oh yeah,
fucking 1,000 people.
Just an octagon with a net in the middle.
Yeah, that's crazy. On the
for
little
some reason, I
bleachers.
had a real brain fart.
The
there.
Queen could come watch. That would be amazing. Donald Trump was at the maybe not the last one, but one of the most recent ones. For the BMF title for Masvidal versus Diaz, which is so appropriate that Donald Trump was at the baddest motherfucker fight. Have you ever seen that video where Trump says motherfucker?
No.
Oh, it's such a great video. Let's find that one. Because it's like he doesn't just call some random person a motherfucker. It's like part of his
He's
campaign.
Samuel L's it like, motherfucker.
He sets it up. He plays like a character. It's amazing. It's so annoying that autotype. They know you're typing in curses, but they just won't tell you. They
Yeah.
won't suggest it. They're like, yeah, but a kid might be typing it in. We don't want to tell a kid, motherfucker. Here, Donald Trump saying motherfucker in public. What a great title. Oh shit.
Everything you want is there, like.
Bullshit. She said he's But it's political bullshit.
Oh my God.
She said he's a pussy. They're ripping the shit out of the sea. We can't get a fucking school built in Brooklyn.
You're not gonna raise that fucking price, you understand?
I'm gonna bomb the shit out of them. Listen, you motherfuckers, we're gonna tax you 25%.
I didn't know that
We're gonna bomb the shit out of them.
Oh my god.
I had no idea that was about to happen. I was just looking for just that one clip where it says, we're going to tax the shit out of you motherfuckers. Because that's what he says. He's like, listen, it's all about, when you're talking to China, it's all about how you deliver the message. He's like, you can have one guy go in there and say, listen, we'd like to have a tariff and we'd like to have this set up. Or you can have a guy go in there and say, listen, motherfuckers, we're going to tax the shit out of you. But I have never seen that clip of him saying that many times. Like, all of that, I think, is before he became president.
I'd say so. I'd say that was campaigning.
But still, like, he said, I love the music. It's political bullshit. What did he said the other day, though, he was talking about some guy who had died, and he was like, giving condolences to his wife, some senator, and he was like, maybe, I hope he's looking down on me fondly, or maybe he's looking up. Who knows? He insinuated that the guy might be in hell. Well, during like a little speech to like say, I'm sorry for his wife and stuff. By the way, like, I don't know if he's in hell or not. So crazy. It's not even that like you're like, oh, that's outrageous for like a comedian. If I heard that on YouTube, I'd be like, oh, that's very mild. Jimmy Carr said that, like whatever. But it's just to have the president. It just seems odd, Yeah,
but Americans are fucked anyway, so.
Yeah, it just, it's not just America. Bolsonaro, who's the president of Brazil, he calls fucking, like, he's super racist. He called some woman a fat black pig or some shit. Dude, he goes hard in the paint. And Duterte, who's the president of the Philippines, he called Obama a son of a bitch to his face, I think, or some shit. Like,
wait,
dude, because they don't give a fuck. That's why.
Because they're like,
he's like that video I sent you. He's like, this man does not give a fuck.
Yeah,
this man is huge, big, giant balls.
Yeah, but man, that fella's always doing videos.
I've never seen him.
No, he does loads.
I can't remember who sent it to me, but I was like, "What is this big balls video?"
What was it? The snake guy, was that?
Yeah, he's this guy looking at this guy watching this guy. This guy's watching.
Yeah, but he's
video.
like, he does that. That's how. Like,
yeah,
he's
he
like
reacts
that Aussie
to videos
man
online.
Yeah,
but he's reacting to this video of this guy who's like picking cobras up, and he's in a pit of cobras, and he's just like cleaning the cobra pit, and he's like picking cobras up and throwing the cobras, and this black guy is just like, this man does not give a fuck. He's like, this man, there are no fucks to be given, nowhere in sight. He's like, this man has huge balls, like the biggest balls I have ever seen. It's amazing. But yeah, so there's lots of presidents out there. Like, there's definitely a rise of new fucking crazy politics. It doesn't really work in Europe. I don't think they really like it. Whatchamacalls it? The closest we.
But
get
should
to
we
that,
watch your man?
Boris Johnson.
Boris Johnson. He's the closest. I was just about to say.
No, so what we have? What's that guy up in like Waterford? Mick Mung or whatever.
Luke Ming Flanagan.
Luke Ming Flanagan.
Who's that? What does he do?
Politician that grows his own pot.
Oh, that's the weed guy I was about to say. Yeah. He's How does he still do that? Or did that just end at some point? Because surely
I don't know. Yeah,
it would be difficult.
The guards are just be coming around once a month. They're like, you know the deal, Luke. You stand out there with your hands on the wall, do nothing.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, so that's a good Boris Johnson. Like, I think the worst thing he might have ever said was he said that women in burqas look like they're inside of a letterbox. So stupid. Which is just so, like, why would you even bother saying that? Like, I don't know why that doesn't add to any fucking point. But it's just it's all about who your base is, like who you're beholden to. Like Hillary Clinton could never say something like that, anything that he even comes close to saying, because of who her base is. She's got a very liberal base, whereas like Trump has kind of been elected on the premise that he's gonna say ridiculous shit sometimes. Like, I don't like him at all as a person, but that's the one thing I do like about him is that he says funny things. But I just don't think that that's the job of the president. I have lots of other places to get amusing statements from. That's literally the only upside to Donald Trump being president is that it is more amusing than other presidents.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's quite sad that it's like a serious thing is a joke, you know? And I think he does a lot of damage, but watching videos like that.
Yeah.
It just makes you think. And it also, I like the idea that like other politicians could become less PC. They don't have to be like this, but they could just be more open-minded and like, you know, say what they actually think. But I don't know, maybe they...
So funny now, like, to see him in random shit. Do you know he's in like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Yes. So
Do you know,
The
Canada took him out of Home Alone.
Home Alone,
So
that was
rude.
the other one.
That is such a cocky Canadian thing to do. I love
Like
Canada.
Canada, like watching Canada's
Shout
BBC Canada or whatever. Canada.
Canadian.
Yeah, the British Broadcasting Company of
Canada.
Yeah, the
Canada.
Canada is probably
But like
CBC,
their version of that, they cut him out of.
which is just so ridiculous.
just like
what is
What
that?
do they do? Just pixel face him or?
I think they
Like
just
it's a
took away the
dick.
scene.
Just this dickhead. Some dickheads have been edited out of this movie. No, I think they just cut his scene because it's not like consequential.
Yeah.
But like, what if it was integral to the story? What if it was like he gave him something and then all of a sudden, just in the next scene, it's just like something.
How did he
else
get this
happening.
thing?
What the fuck is going on? This movie is a lot worse than I remember. That's
How
such
did he acquire Trump Tower?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I'm missing something here.
Yeah. I don't know. Is he must be in other movies, but I can't think of like a movie where he plays a really
I'm
important.
sure he
role.
went in loads of like little cameos.
Yeah, but I don't think he was like an actor.
Yeah, no,
No,
I think
no.
that was it. It was kind of cameo.
No, sure, like you see him on Fresh Prince and he's shit. Like he's just like
he just
kinda-
shows up and he's
Yeah.
just Trump. He's a
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah.
He's himself is a brand. It's kind of incredible. But I think that if he was, I don't know. It's if he was the main character in a movie, I think Canada would probably just ban the movie because it's such a Canadian thing to do. I love Canada and I love all my Canadian friends, but they're almost too nice. Like they're some of their stuff that they do is just so backwards. Like it's a funny place, but yeah, they mean well. I don't know. I'll just see. Their president is amazing. Have you ever seen his where he's talking about recycling water bottles?
No.
I don't know why. Why would you guys have ever seen the Canadian Prime Minister talking about water bottles? But it's one of my favorite videos ever because he's such an. I don't
Did you ever
like
see
him
his
at all.
boxing match with
So you have seen him.
Who? Justin Trudeau?
Yeah.
Justin Trudeau had a boxing match?
With one of the opposition
Get
parties.
the fuck out of here.
It was before he was
Prime Minister.
what was your man's name?
That is so crazy.
He had a boxing match. What were they calling him? The show pony.
The show pony.
Basically, your man thought Trudeau was a little bitch and
So he
challenged him to a boxing match.
in Congress. Like he
I
was
think
like,
so,
wherever. Yeah. That's amazing.
They agree. Look, we'll look it up in
The
a minute.
Prime Minister. Yeah, I can look it
won't
up
keep
first.
telling you about it. But
So wait, Trudeau.
Who won?
Trudeau.
He won?
Yep.
How long was that?
Points or knockout?
I think it's the second round.
Knockout.
Your man beats him in the Here we
Oh my
go.
god, 16 minutes.
Brazow, yeah.
Okay, well we're not
I'll
going to watch
it
the
in
whole 16 minutes.
Just look for a highlight.
I'm just skip to the knockout, to the TKO.
Did you watch it?
Oh, those are fucking ads. Skip that.
No, it's weird. It literally came up on YouTube or
I'm not gonna
something
watch
for
this
me
whole
the
thing.
other day.
2012. That was not a long time ago. The world is getting nuttier. Oh, he's slugging him. He's slugging him. He's working him. Oh, he's not too bad. He's got some form. I mean, his hands are down. Is that over? Is that the end? No. He's like, I'm good. I got this. His policies are no match for my fists. He's just slugging.
Your man basically thought he was a little bitch and thought he was going to hammer him and came out in the first round and tried to kick the shit out of him. And he did to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But after the first round, Trudeau just starts beating
Oh
on him
shit,
and
Trudeau
beating
kept
on
it in
him.
the tank. So this guy's like a fast starter like McGregor. He's like, I'll come out and knock him out in the first round. If that doesn't work out, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Trudeau just slugged it out. Those are some of the worst punches I've ever seen.
I've never seen
The guy's shelling off on the side, and he's just winging at his fist. You're like, dude, just one uppercut.
Yeah.
This shit is over. Just stop. Just don't. I think people get so panicked that you're gonna hit him back. So he's like, "Don't let him move. Just keep hitting him." This clip of him with the water bottle. I don't think we need to watch the full one.
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of when we have.
No, I want the question. I want the question too, because it's better with the setup.
Vanessa Lee, CTV. Does this mean that restaurants, for example, won't be able to use plastic cutlery? And what would you have to say to small businesses who can't afford to make this massive change?
Well, this is exactly why we are.
Okay, no, I don't want to hear that.
We need to mitigate
I want to hear
kinds of reflections based on. There could be these for small businesses. We recognize that contributors.
You and your family do to cut back.
Such a
will be
question.
made responsible for the full life cycle of the products they sell to consumers.
This is a really easy
Probably,
one.
I'm sure
And
they
what do you and your family do to cut back on
Softball.
plastics?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper. Like drink box water bottles, sort of things. There's a number of choices we can make as
dying over and over.
Go back.
He's like, we drink plastic water bottles. No, sorry, we drink water from plastic. He's like, no, we paper water bottle. And then he's like, at that point, it's like, you know when you want to give up on a sentence, but he's a fucking,
he's a
interview. Yeah, he's like, I can't just give up, but I don't give a fuck. It's incredible, and it's such a, he nails the one before, which is really complex. It's like, what are small businesses going to do with this difficult policy change? And he fucking sticks the landing. They're like, and sir, just to end this off with a nice little tidbit for the evening news, what do your family like to do?
The full life cycle of
Do to cut back on plastics?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper.
Like a total Canadian, he apologized. Like, I'm sorry, so sorry. One second, the water bottle plastic. Wait, what is a water? I've said it so many times it doesn't make sense anymore.
Water bottles out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles, sort of things. There's a number.
He like completely gives up on trying to find words, and he's like, the fucking square things with the liquid stuff. He's like, it's like Coke, but not Coke. Water bottle. And sometimes when someone says
It's a water bottle.
Water bottle.
To drinking water bottles out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper. Like drink box water bottles, sort of things. There's a number of choices we can make as consumers that will do better, and every consumer needs to look at ways they can make smarter choices in their consumptions.
He turned back into politician.
Yeah.
He got back on track.
Brief
But for a
blip.
second, that train was off the rails, driving through the fucking woods. He's like, "What is it? Water? Is it water bottle? Is that a real thing?"
I'm looking up drink box as I speak.
Drink box is like a plastic paper drink box. He's like, "Fuck! I just drink out the river. There's a river out the back. I just stick my fucking face in it. Leave me alone. I don't want to do this, Dad." He's so funny. I love him. He's such a cute fucking idiot. Just want to hear it one more time. I'll stop.
Consumers.
And what do you and your family do to cut back on plastics?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper. Like drink box water bottles, sort of things. There's a number of choices we.
I have no idea what it is. It's like my wife does the shopping. I just drink
I
water.
Drink water.
I just need to finish this
Drink
sentence.
some water bottle.
It's just a fucking water. I can't remember. Cue card line, please. What's the line? The poor guy. Oh Jesus Christ! It's such a great
can make as consumers.
Oh yes, so fucking funny. Yeah, so the lineup of politicians, like if there was a, you know how we were talking about the Ultimate Fighter last week, where the UFC have that show where all the people live in the house. If it was world leaders, it was like Trump, Trudeau, Bolsonaro. We throw in Merkel, get Boris Johnson in there. Theresa May would be amazing. Have you seen Theresa May
Michael
dance?
D. Higgins.
Michael D. Higgins.
Yeah.
Just as an oddball, yeah.
Our own little leprechaun.
Yeah, what does he do, really?
Just they're diplomats, basically.
Yeah,
Presidents.
they don't have any, no. Because those other guys are real ass leaders, like they're
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
in charge of shit.
Taoiseach.
Who we'd send, what's his, Leo?
Radrick.
Varadkar.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you don't know how to say Nurmagomedov, and I don't know how to say Varadkar. Radkar. Okay, we can stop saying Radkar. It's like the water bottles.
Varadkar.
Water bottle.
Drink butts.
Have you ever seen Theresa May dancing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the fucking creepiest thing. She looks like a corpse that's been summoned.
Yeah. Oh, she is dumb.
Oh, sorry. That's so inappropriate. When my mom gave up dyeing her hair, she came home one day, she got a short haircut. She walked into the door and I said, "Wow, Mom, you look like an older Theresa May."
Oh my god, she killed you.
Yeah, but I always be saying shit like that, so it wasn't like out of place for me. She knew I was joking. Because I have that little switch in the back of my head that's like, what's the most inappropriate thing I could say? You always got to notice women's haircut. They get very upset when you don't notice that they got a haircut. Whereas, like, I don't want anyone to talk about my haircut. I'll be like, yeah, I cut my hair. I go, well, yeah, you can see it. It's like when people are like, oh, it's raining. I'm like, yeah, it is raining. Yeah.
I hate people. Oh, you got a haircut?
Like,
yes, I did.
Congratulations. Your prize is in the mail. But
I usually say no when they ask me things like that. Like so blatant.
Yeah, like Dave at the window. I'm like, that window was always there. I swear. But they get a lot of women get upset when you don't notice their hair. So I had to immediately give her a compliment. But then I was like, but I could just immediately give her an insult.
Well, then, do you know what? And then when you keep doing that, eventually she won't care if you don't notice the face.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so now what I got to do is give her a couple more compliments. So for the next few years, it'll be compliments, and then I'll hit her with a zinger in a few years and then I'll get her back. Let's watch some of these Savage Eye videos because those ones on the guards are amazing. And if Sean hasn't seen them, we're definitely going to watch those. We'll just go through the playlist, I guess.
Gardaí. Nada. Nalba. 1 Galva. 2 Gardaí. Nada. Nalba. Try it again. Nada. Nalba. Do you remember the line from The Wizard of Oz? Yes, Sergeant. That's the sound you need to make. Visualize it. Nalba. 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 Over the past 3 weeks, you have studied 40 different types of left turns. And today's the...
When an Irish person dies suddenly from an accident or murder, it is often the responsibility of the Gardaí to break the news to the next of kin.
Bad news. And the delivery thereof requires sensitivity. What? Sensitivity. That's right, sensitivity. Delivering bad news such as a death of a family member. You're at his house, his mother is dead. What do you do?
You explain the circumstances of the situation in a dignified way.
Who do not? What do you do?
You tell him the news and show genuine understanding and concern.
You do not. Delivering bad news is a 3-stage process. Number 1, take the head off. Number 2, look into it. Number 3, lift the head up with the shad face. Until eventually the family members realize there is something wrong. Because when a guard looks sad, the news is bad. What?
When a guard looks sad, the news is bad.
After lunch, we'll be talking about the difference between lions on the road and lions in the zoo.
Does anybody know how to show affection?
By Jesus, lads, now being a Gardaí is a thankless job.
Oh, I've never seen this.
And being a Garda... Jesus, we've only got each other, lads. Now, do you know what a hug is?
It's like marmalade.
It's not fucking marmalade. What? A hug is closing or holding the arms round the neck, back or waist of another person, giving comfort to a fellow Gardaí who's experienced a terrible thing. You two lads, stand up, come forward. Put on a sad face. Show me your sad face. Is that your sad face?
Yes, Sergeant.
Right. Approach him and give him a hug. Come away, come away, come away. What are you doing? Come away. Stand 3 feet away. Smile before you give him the hug. Let him know you're not going to attack him. Don't pat him on the back. Hug him like you mean it. There you go, lads. There you go. No more than 3 seconds. Now pull away, pull away. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
There's something happening in my trousers, Sergeant.
That's normal now. That's normal now. That's normal now. Come on. Stand down. Walk it off. There you go.
Walk it off. Walk it off.
Yeah.
Mickey.
Oh, see,
The usual.
These are not guards.
Yeah.
I don't know what the. Oh, what is this? There's a random one in the middle. Oh, this is just a whole random part. Bunch of them.
Oh, it is a. Is it a?
Does anybody know how to show it? 1 Galva, 2.
It's falling apart. Oh wait, where are the? There was a whole playlist of the guard one a little while ago. Oh, do I have to filter by playlist? Playlist.
You were in it, man.
Savage
Oh,
or
there it
Gardaí.
is. Yeah, I got him.
As you've been Garda, with the right makeup, you can use your face as a weapon. It is possible to look up. Utilize the skills we have learnt and become a Nyao.
Fuck Finnegan. That's with the.
You need to familiarize yourself with natural law and man-made law. For instance, why don't people jump off buildings?
You'd fall.
Good man Einstein. Why will you fall?
The boats.
The what?
The boats is heavy.
Do you know something? I don't think you're going to make it. It's because God has laws, and one of the main ones is gravity. And by Jesus, if you try to defy it, you're going down. Why? Because
This is a good line.
gravity is God's Garda. What?
Gravity is God's Garda.
That's right. Before you join the force, you have to feel the force. After lunch, I'll be teaching you how to step out of the way. Over the past.
That is a great line. Wait, and then there's one other one I want to watch because a lot of them are visual, but this is one of my favorite ones.
Stop.
Because this
Right.
is so everybody's been through this.
What do you do when approaching a vehicle that you've stopped?
You talk to the driver.
You do not. You apply the 20-second rule, which means you don't say a word for 20 seconds. You lean in and you give her the Garda de die. Look at me.
Garda de die.
Getting the Garda de die.
The Garda de die. More de die. There you go now. Lean into the car. Lean into the car. Extend the neck. Extend the neck. Don't give her a chance to make up an excuse.
Feel the power of 100,000 Garda behind your eye. Now, ask her, where are you going?
Where are you going?
I'm going home, Gert.
Right.
What do we do?
You let her go.
You do not. She's just given her cheek. There's a fine line between murder and manslaughter, and another fine line between manslaughter and cheek.
Such a great line.
Murder and
Go.
You do not. She's just given her cheek. And there's a fine line between murder and manslaughter, and another fine line between manslaughter and cheek. That's 2 fine lines between murder and cheek. What has he done?
You let a murderer go free.
Let a murderer go free.
You let a murderer go free.
What do we do with murderers?
Murder them.
Yeah, excellent. I love that. But yeah, for the life of me, I cannot find it. I haven't seen the full episodes. I've just seen.
I've seen a few full episodes, but I've seen a lot more clips.
I've just seen the only full episode I've ever seen is Why the Irish Drink. And if anyone listening to this knows where I can get a copy of that, fuck, I would love to see that again. It's one of my favorite pieces of TV that I've ever seen. Because it's so, I mean, it's one of those things that wouldn't mean much to other people. Like if you're American or something, it'll probably be mildly amusing. But to live in Ireland and to have it, it's
understand, like,
not only is it just makes so much sense. It's hilarious, and it's like you're like, oh shit! It made me think differently about Ireland, like especially with the weather. Like, there's a section where they're talking about like one of the reasons why the Irish drink is the weather, and it just has a picture of like the map of Ireland and there's little eyes and mouth on it. Going, I don't know why people are always mad at me. So I'm only a fucking island out in the fucking Atlantic. Of course, it's always fucking raining. I was like, yeah, that's a good point. I was like, what do I expect? Not that I was ever actually like mad at the weather, as if that was something that you could actively change. So, like, these fucking politicians, they're always getting the shittest weather in. If they just fucking...
Here, I'll just look up like their episodes list, and there's like one that's just called alcohol. So that's probably why.
it.
That's probably it. And that's
Maybe
why
I'm looking for the wrong title. Fuck.
Yeah.
Maybe it's been there all along.
So that's season 1, episode 6.
Fucking hell. Maybe
And
I
like,
should just
it's on RTE player as well, like, so you could.
Fucking hell! If I could get on there, oh, I'm done.
Sure, that's only you just go online, like.
I know. I just never thought about it. Obviously, I haven't been trying.
Yeah,
very
you
hard,
did not.
okay?
It literally took me 1 minute looking at my phone. I figured it out.
Yeah, I feel really bad now,
Episode
actually,
6.
because like I feel like I
Season 1,
actually,
episode 6.
I actually think I did try harder than it seems, and I obviously did a really bad job of trying. So that's why I feel bad, because obviously I'm not good at this. What the fuck?
Just look up season 1, episode 6.
I typed in season 1. Episode.
You spell that with an E, not an N.
Aren't you just the clever boy in the room to get you a fucking trophy? What, see,
updated today.
1, 4, 6, season 4. Are they still releasing episodes? Is this still out?
I don't know.
Well, some of these have been uploaded recently, but I mean, you could upload anything old recently. Do whatever the fuck you want. Free country. Or is it? Yeah, no, it probably is. I don't see.
It's not there.
It's not. Yeah, but I'll go on RT Player and I'll find it.
Yeah.
I'll write down the script and then I'll have a copy for the rest of my life.
Script.
Yeah, I don't think that's illegal to write down the copy of a script if you watch a thing and write the script.
Well, like
down.
I'd say you'd probably get them online.
Yeah, but I can't.
Like, what you would.
But it's illegal to be recording it, like, and I want a copy for the rest of my life, so I can show my grandkids.
Is it illegal to like record a show?
What? Take your phone out and like film it?
Yeah, like back in the day when
of course it is.
Things.
Yeah, it's just like it's illegal to take a video camera to the
like, you know, when you're younger, you might tape a movie to watch it. Like
that's
later.
illegal. That's a good point. TiVo, like to record TV,
Sky,
that's not
Plus
illegal. Sky Plus, yeah, the Sky Plus is within Sky's own little player, but. Like, I don't know if you recorded a TV show. Like, I wonder, is it illegal to record a movie onto...
Well, let's say it'd be illegal to record it and then sell it. Whereas, like...
but I feel like, man, that... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe if I just, like... If I went onto the RTE player, hypothetically, and just, like, recorded the screen while I was watching it and kept a copy of that for myself, personally, that is not much different to recording a videotape, but I feel like that would not be okay. I just don't think. I think they'd be suspicious. There's probably something about the nature of a digital copy, because you can send it to everybody so easily. Whereas, like, if you have a video, you're like, well, you just got one, and as long as you're not operating some sort of video
physical copies, you have to make physical copies.
Yeah, so maybe that's what it is. Maybe there's a different law with digital copies. But anyway, so yeah, I would just write the script because I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Yeah, I tried looking up to get the script and I couldn't. But like, it's a
that would be even weirder.
It's a sketch show, like, so I'd say it'd be harder.
No,
and it wouldn't be like that popular.
I was just joking. I do want to see it again, but you know, it's
like,
just gonna be like every fucking movie from my childhood where it doesn't. I make it out to be like the best thing in the world. Is there any point? You should just be bummed out about everything, and then it might be good again. Otherwise,
what are you on about?
Oh, because when you enjoy things and you hype them up, they're never as good when you come back to them.
Like,
so I'm like,
I used to love James Bond when I was younger, and I think they're terrible.
Fuck yeah, like, a lot of that shit doesn't hold up.
Like Die Hard, I wouldn't be like a big fan of that. I don't like movies where it's like one guy versus the world.
Yeah, 65 people. You're like, wow.
He's armed, trained, hitman, can't shoot a gun that will kill him.
They must have shot like 1,000 bullets at that guy, and not one hit him. Yeah, I'm not. There's a lot of movies. Can you think of a really old movie that stands up Oh,
yeah. Green Mile, Shawshank, fucking.
I do not like the
Godfather
Green
and
Mile.
stuff,
I don't really like the Green Mile with all the magic shit. I was like,
it's
what?
a bit weird.
It's a
I was
bit
like,
weird,
what is
like,
this
but
shit?
it's a nice story and shit.
Yeah.
Well, not really, because it's tragic.
I prefer
it's slow,
Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, like Shawshank.
That's my kind of prison movie. No magic, thanks. Just old guys hanging themselves. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the Shawshank Redemption, I have no.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk. We could just catch up next week after you've seen the Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
If you hadn't seen that
Have you
movie,
seen like
that really-
Sophie's Choice and stuff? I've never seen that.
No, what is that about? That
It's
sounds
where-
sad.
Yeah,
is it
it's
about
where-
she has to kill one of her kids
Yeah,
or
something
something?
she has to pick which one lives, doesn't have to kill him.
How does that work?
I don't know.
Does
I
she
haven't seen
not?
it.
She only has enough
I think
money for one
I think
pill.
it's,
or something?
she's in a concentration camp. I think,
Oh
or some
Jesus!
shit.
Oh okay.
I think so.
Sorry, God.
I don't know. Yeah, it's
Whoa.
definitely something to do with
I don't
it.
think they gave you a choice.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know what it was because the way that
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I
it doesn't
I
sound
think
like
it's
it
in,
is a
like,
choice.
Nazi
You know,
Germany.
the way they set it up, because I've only ever heard it through references, and people mention it as a choice. So in my head, it was always like, oh, she has to make some decision.
Yeah.
But I guess she does, but like not willingly. You know what I mean? Because in my head, I was like, oh, maybe it's a movie about someone who's like, I prefer this kid, so I choose to like give them more attention. I didn't know that what they died or whatever.
No, it was definitely wouldn't get killed.
Oh yeah, well that's sad.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, well, yeah, it bummed me out. We should end the podcast there.
Yeah.
Nah,
Just leave it on this note.
Shawshank Redemption is not that old. I suppose
like
it's as
90s,
old
isn't
as
it?
like the Die Hard movies, but I was thinking
Yeah.
more like a 60s or 70s movie. Do you guys like any movies?
Godfather
many
is supposed to be the earliest one that I know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not. I like
I
the
suppose that's
first
still
Godfather,
kinda,
but
that's like 80s, isn't it?
yeah, there's one movie that I fucking love that I've seen, which is like it's in black and white. I don't know if it had to be in black and white, if it was a choice. What's it called? Doctor Strangelove.
What?
It's got one of the weirdest names of a movie ever.
Is that his actual name?
So the movie is called Doctor Strangelove, or its alternative title is How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Atomic Bomb. Most commonly known as Doctor Strangelove, because that's a long ass name. But it's one of my all-time favorite movies.
Actually, what are like the police academies and what would the hell be? They'd be 80s too, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
90s.
This is a Stanley Kubrick film. Let's see if I can find.
Or robots.
What's it called? Just that quick clip. Yeah, here we go. I love this movie. Oh, I should set it up as to what's going on. So this is like it's during the Cold War, and there's they're in the Pentagon's war room, and they've just like found out that there's a nuclear bomb has been accidentally triggered and sent towards Russia. So they're trying to like tell Russia like, oh, one of our commanders has gone rogue and sent this off. Like, we're not trying to start war with you. So I think right now this is the Russian ambassador who's just come into the war room, and he's eating from the buffet that they have in there. It's a comedy.
You don't have any fresh fish?
I'm afraid not, sir.
Your eggs then, they are fresh?
Oh, yes, sir.
I will have poached eggs. And bring me some cigars, please. Havana cigars.
And that will be all for you, sir?
Yes.
Then I'll see to it right away.
Try one of these Jamaican cigars, Ambassador. They're pretty good.
Thank you, no. I do not support the work of imperialist stooges.
Oh, only commie stooges, huh?
This is the crazy general.
You're gonna let that lousy commie punk vomit all over us like this?
Who's Dr.
President?
He's the
We haven't been able to reach Premier Kissoff in the Kremlin. They say they don't know where he is and he won't be back for another 2 hours.
Try BA6543 Moscow.
Yes, sir.
You would never have found him through his office, Mr. President. Our Premier is a man of the people, but he is also a man, if you follow my meaning. What did you say?
I said Premier Kissoff is a degenerate atheist.
Mr. President, I formally request that you have this ignorant brute.
I'm sorry,
Mr. President, I think they're trying the number.
They're trying to get in contact with the president of Russia, but he's out.
You silly guy! I've tasted karate before, hey! You war mustang for it!
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room. What is going on here? I demand an explanation.
It's just that kind of movie where it's like all these really funny little
Yeah.
subtle jokes. They're like, gentlemen, you can't fight in here.
That's
This
kind of
is
like
the war
English
room."
comedy, is it?
Yeah, it's like it's not like an American style comedy
Yeah.
where it's very subtle. I don't know where Stanley Kubrick. I don't know where he's from. Stanley Kubrick might have been British for all I fucking
Actually, when would like Airplane be?
Well, that's the 70s, I think. That's quite old. Or maybe early 80s. Stanley Kubrick might have been. Let's see. Oh no, American director. Yeah, but it's a great movie, and it's like it's a comedy, but it's not just like all comedy. It's very subtle bits of comedy. There's this amazing bit where they like they have like there's a plane that's flying into Russia, and they're getting out. I won't put it on because it's all visual, but it's like they're getting out their little. They have like an emergency landing pack. Like if the plane goes down, they have like survival kit for Russia, and they have like they're taking out all this ridiculous stuff. And one of them is like it's a pocket-sized Bible / Russian phrase book, but it's like the size of a matchbook, and it's like an entire Bible and Russian phrase book in it, and it's supposed to like help you like blend in as like as a Russian when you crash land in Russia or whatever. It's just fucking, it's a ridiculous movie. But.
Yeah, you've lost me.
Sorry, yeah, it's visual. I fucked up. I should have just said it's a visual joke, and that's the end of it. Trying to talk through a visual joke? Nah, bad idea. It's an excellent movie, though. I highly recommend that. The other movie I just watched, I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You guys seen that?
I haven't seen it. No, we got it for someone for a birthday present, but I actually haven't seen it.
Oh yeah. It's
what is it?
It's Tarantino's newest film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's got a wicked. Who is it? Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Margot Robbie.
His usual.
Yeah, Margot Robbie is.
They're the three on the case.
She's in it. Yeah. It's
weird. Yeah. Well, if she's in it, they're gonna put her on the case.
What's it called?
Oh yeah, she's
Once
in
Upon
it.
a Time in Hollywood.
She's in it. It's just like don't go for Margot Robbie, as it were. Like it's totally more about Brad and Leonardo DiCaprio. It's
I think I've seen that actually. I think I've seen something about it. That's your one from Thingy was in it.
Just swinging around. She's the one from.
She's all I had to do was type in once.
Yeah, it's on the tip of everyone's tongue. Margot Robbie's the one from fucking Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah,
she played Harley Quinn.
She's in
Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street, yeah.
Is what kind of was her big break.
Yeah,
as far
that
as I
movie
know.
is so ridiculous. Oh, that guy's crazy in real life.
Yeah, no, we were telling William about it there not too long ago. Why were we talking about that? Because someone in Ireland was going through something. Oh no, was it?
Someone in Ireland was going through Wolf of Wall Street.
Kind of something similar. Oh yeah,
what, throwing midgets at?
What was it? They were talking about
midget tosses.
The guy who had been like making all that money, and he just like kept getting money from people. Like the only way he'd like
a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
He was doing it for
I don't
years,
think Jordan
like
Belfort was running a Ponzi scheme.
Who was he?
Bernie Madoff was the big ass.
You were definitely with us when.
Yeah, Sean, don't you remember everything that ever happened to you? That's your responsibility.
Well, like I remember it. Like I said,
yeah, don't you remember all the things I remember? What's wrong with you?
But he
was
there, like, and you normally like.
What does that mean?
Like,
do you never remember something that other people don't remember? You've never said that to someone like, oh, don't you remember that time we were doing something? And they're like, no, I don't remember.
We were like just driving into school when we started telling him about the Wolf of Wall Street. I can remember that.
Telling who?
William. William. I said William.
Yo, his short-term memory is obviously not.
Yeah, lad, I said William like 3 times.
When was this recently? A long time ago. Oh, sure, like 6 years ago.
No, it was like, it was when I was working with him, which is like a month or two ago.
Okay. No, he's like, you're a liar. So I think actually, if Dave can say that you should remember it, then there's just as good evidence that he's making this up. Because if it's your word against his word, then Sean says he can't remember it. Then Dave, I'm sorry, man, you're a liar. Why are you? Why'd you have to bring that negative energy in here?
I forgot what were we talking.
You said I don't think I was there.
He was definitely there. Yeah.
That's your reason for if you don't remember something. You're like, if I don't remember it, I wasn't there. It's not important if Sean remembers it or not, because obviously he's not going to be helpful in terms of recounting details. But what, someone in Ireland was scamming people basically.
I don't know if he was in Ireland,
because Jordan Belfort, that Wolf of Wall Street, I don't think he was actually doing a Ponzi scheme.
No,
he was just doing a bunch of risky shit. I think,
but didn't pay tax or something, or
maybe I think what he did was he was like being irresponsible with people's money is basically what they had, because he would like. From my understanding is that he would sell people these crazy stock. Yeah, that it was like insider trading. He would sell people stocks that he and his friends had already bought, and it would make these penny
Yeah.
stocks go to the moon, and they'd cash out or something along those lines. So it was not good anyway. But it's a funny movie, and it's just like all those insane moments where they're like driving the car on the Klonopins and like tossing the midgets and just all that crazy shit. Is it Klonopin?
But I think that's actually like true, like that he did shit.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, and that's so funny listening to old like people who were alive back then talk about those drugs. I can't remember. What is it Klonopins? I can't remember what it's called. You can't get anymore. They stopped production, and then you could probably like auction one on eBay for $50,000 or some shit. They're like, just to get that high one more time. I don't know. It's just like all those things that we were talking about, though. Probably not as good as you remember it was.
Yeah.
It's like I love that Futurama. I love and hate that Futurama episode where Fry gets like, I don't know, what is it, like a couple $1 billion or something?
Yeah, and he goes back to like
yeah, he gives it all up for some fucking anchovies, and they're all like, "Oh, these are fucking disgusting."
Except for
Zoidberg.
Yeah, Zoidberg loses his mind because they're no more. He's like, there are no more. That was the last cat. He's like, I must have more. I love anchovies. Do you like anchovies?
No.
No one? I'm the only one. All right, that's cool. If we get trapped in the desert
like
islands
fish, like,
and we
but I
find
don't.
you don't like anchovies? Too salty?
Yeah.
Too
Well,
much?
no, I
too
don't like
much
olives either.
Fun for you? What's wrong with it? Oh, it's hard to describe what you don't like about a food, isn't it? Unless it's like a texture or something real obvious.
Well, no, anyone is like, like you're a bitch if you're fucking not eating food because of its texture.
Oh, okay. Well, do you hear that, everybody who doesn't like whatever it is? You're a bitch. That's how it works.
Just eat it, like, what the fuck's
I don't know. Yeah, I guess some people. I used to not really like avocado because I was like, it's a bit mushy. I'm not really crazy about it, but it wasn't I wouldn't
The only example of that for me is like I couldn't eat jelly. Did you know?
Oh my god!
Jelly.
Why does
literally
everyone
had jelly the other
fucking
day.
hate jelly?
I
My
literally
mom
had
can't
jelly the
eat
other day.
jelly either. What? I think jelly's the fucking maybe the
It's
best
the
dessert.
weirdest thing ever in your fucking mouth,
dude.
I'd say you've had a lot weirder.
Yeah, I mean, I think I enjoy the experience. I think that, like, when you consider effort, I really do. I love the jelly feeling. It's weird. That's what I like about it. I like having this gelatinous thing in my mouth. I don't know what that says about me. Maybe I'm a freak. Whatever. Form your own opinions, but I like jelly.
I literally had jelly like 2 days ago.
Yeah, and I was looking at it. I was like, fuck.
So I got jelly from a Christmas hamper.
But you got jelly from a Christmas hamper?
Yeah, I won Regan's hamper thing. Yeah.
How much jelly was there in there?
Just like a pack of jelly.
Oh, okay. It wasn't like they didn't pad it out with jelly.
No, I made it like.
You made the hamper?
No, I made the jelly like.
I know you made.
I got the tinny like. Oh right, yeah. Actually,
I just wanted to know if they put it. It was a hamper full of jelly, because I'd kind of actually be more happy.
Oh, there was
with that.
loads of shit.
Yeah, what was there? Tell me. Let me live vicariously through your hamper.
What?
I would never do that. I would never get a hamper. You know what I mean? Some people might buy a hamper.
I can't remember. I got peas.
Peas?
Yeah.
What kind of fucking hamper?
Living
was this?
large.
Yeah, you got frozen peas and jelly.
No, it was a can of peas.
Is this real? They're like
I got peas and beans.
They're like, Dave's here. Dave, what have we got?
Swap the whiskey for peas.
There was whiskey, yeah.
Okay, so we got a bottle of whiskey. You got the whiskey with the jelly. He's just sitting there drinking whiskey, jelly, and peas.
I got porridge.
What
the fuck?
Is this a joke? Are you serious? You in your hamper? You got so far. You got okay. Me and Sean get to keep guessing. You're not telling us anything more because this is amazing. So how many? First of all, how many items were there? Like,
there's at least another 15.
Fucking hell! What? Oh my god! So they did your shopping for you. Okay, so
peas and
oh wait, we're gonna go back and forth. We're gonna go back.
3 foot tall.
First person to 3 points wins. So you get 1 point for each correct item guessed. Okay, so I'm gonna guess. Okay, so you already told us. Let's say peas, beans, whiskey,
porridge,
and jelly.
jelly.
A big pack of Flavidins. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't teared into that one yet. I must get some jam.
That's gonna be a wild night. Okay, so fuck. What am I gonna go with then? A pack of rashers.
No. Fuck.
Cheese.
I can't remember.
This is not gonna work.
No, because I gave away a few things that like when I got it because I didn't go up home.
Okay. Well,
Right, tea bags.
Hey, you fucking jumped your turn. I was gonna say tea bags, so I get that point. Okay, I'll give you that one, but I get 2 now. Okay, so tea bags. Were they Barry's?
Yeah.
Big box. Was it bigger than that? Or just
No, just not a smaller one.
Oh, a smaller one. All right. Okay. So jelly, sausages.
No.
Fuck. No me. This is bad. I'm
Oh,
going
you're
the
going
wrong
to get
way.
it.
Oh yeah. Okay, I get another one. Fuck, man. This is so random. Sugar.
No.
Shit. They give you fucking porridge and no sugar. They give you beans and no sausages.
I wouldn't have sugar with my porridge.
You wouldn't. What would you have? Jam.
Jam or something.
Yeah, which has got a lot of sugar. No?
Throw some
Yeah,
cinnamon
actually,
in.
but I wouldn't just throw sugar.
Cinnamon porridge. is the way
Cinnamon
to go.
and apple. Grate some apple in there. Now we're
Sure.
going to Flavor Town. Population, me. Emma
Can I say a chocolate bar? Or do I have
You'd
to
have
be
to guess the
specific?
chocolate.
Oh yeah, you got to be specific. Ooh, I got to guess. Thanks, Sean.
Dairy milk.
Nope.
Galaxy.
Nope.
Fuck.
Lindor.
No.
Oh, wait, are Lindt and Lindor the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I think Lindor are the balls.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. So wait, if he said Cadbury, does that include Bourneville? Like if it was Bourneville or whatever?
Well, I'm just gonna say one thing. You're way off. Like
Oh,
chocolate.
okay, green and black.
No.
Fuck.
You're
I have to
guessing-
curse
You're
after.
guessing the completely wrong thing.
Snickers.
Huh?
Snickers.
No,
Snickers.
you're
What?
still guessing
a giant
completely wrong.
Snickers.
Completely
Just
wrong.
like completely the wrong thing. Then Butlers.
No.
Fuck. Oh, I got a good one.
Oh, the wrong thing. White chocolate.
Oh my god.
What the fuck? You can't say a whole brand. You're like milk chocolate.
Wait,
No, I
we're
wanna
naming brands. He's like, you're naming the wrong thing. Fuck. Think outside the box.
He's like,
That's
guys.
that's saying the wrong thing even way
It's my
more
go.
than.
Alright,
It's my
carry
go. It's my go. So celebrations.
No.
Fuck.
Drinking chocolate.
What the fuck? You can't do it. He's like, the color red. If it was red, I get points. It was red, right? Yeah, okay. I get all the points. He's like, was it an object? Okay, fuck. So, I don't know if I'm wasting my time. Like, should I just say a different type of sweets?
I'm not going for
He's
chocolate
not, yeah,
anymore.
no, he's not.
I'm bailing on this.
He's like, this is
I've exhausted
endless.
my
Look how many
resources
fucking
on chocolate.
chocolates there are.
All I'll say is you were closer than Sean was guessing.
Oh, okay.
So it
A
is
big
in
tub
fact a
of
chocolate bar.
Yeah, it's not. Okay. Fuck. This is just too difficult. I knew I should have stayed in school. Fuck. Coffee.
Yeah.
Yes. Wait. What did we? We're 1-1. You got tea, and I got coffee. And did he get something else?
No.
Okay, so it's 1-1.
No, you just started guessing.
Well, he
Shooting off
couldn't
the gun.
remember whether he got cheese or not.
Oh yeah. Well, too bad. That
That's
doesn't.
why
tough
that's why
life.
I said tea bags, because he couldn't remember whether my
Oh,
answer
I'm
was
so
right
sorry.
or wrong.
Okay, well, I'm not sorry enough to give you another
Yeah.
go, but I am
Right,
sorry.
so you got coffee.
I got coffee. Yeah.
Well, fuck, if there's tea and coffee, drinking chocolate wasn't a bad guess.
No,
it wasn't a bad guess, but I meant like you kept like going Snickers, but they're not like
That is
bars of
such.
chocolate.
That's
they're
the
like,
worst guess so far. Snickers for sure. It's like why just one Snickers or like a pack of 4 or there's no big Snickers are there.
Toblerone.
No.
Oh, that was a good one.
No, because that's still like you just get a big Toblerone. Like it's not. I'm on about like when you were guessing celebrations, it's kind of the right thing, but no.
Yeah,
it's
that's
Ferrero
right.
Rocher. Or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Do you know, it's like
Yeah.
packs of chocolate.
Well,
like that
fuck
get.
you. We could have got that.
Like you were close to like Butlers.
We
you
should
know,
each
they're
get
like-
half a point for that. No, okay. All right, so it's my go. We got coffee. We got whiskey. Coke?
No.
Obviously Coca-Cola.
That would be a great Christmas.
Shout out to Regan's.
Just fucking Coke. It's just nothing
Oh,
else.
and we forgot one thing. An ounce of cocaine. Oh, that's nice. That'll go well with the Barry Steve. Take the headshot.
Right, so what have we guessed?
There is jelly. There is
While you're
pea
thinking,
beans,
say things.
There
'Cause I
are
will say things.
tea,
Don't be
coffee, Tea, coffee. What else did you
We
say?
said tea, coffee, whiskey, peas, fucking
Beans.
porridge,
Porridge, jelly.
fucking jelly. I'm so glad we got some of the real oddballs
Ferrero
off there.
Rocher.
Never in a fucking million
Oh man,
years.
you're no.
Shocking, yeah. Oh,
No,
I
you're
got
still-
one. We haven't even gotten close to how fucking weird this.
Just some weird light bulbs or something stupid.
Is that your guess? Is that your final answer?
That was him. That was his guess, but he tried to get it out the way by making a joke. 'cause he doesn't-
Only a dumbass would say light bulbs, right, Dave? Am I right? Am I right? Okay, all right. Is that that's not your guess? No.
Wait, whose goal is it?
It's Sean's, but he fucking double bluffed us with the light
It's
bulb.
light bulbs. That's his guess. No.
Yeah, that's
No.
cool.
Oh, that's his guess. Okay, so I'm gonna go with shaving foam.
No.
No.
Razor blade.
No.
Oh fuck. Okay, so can I say shampoo?
No.
Toilet paper.
Wait, was that
No.
no? I can't say shampoo. Or
That's your guess.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Now we're back to you
but it
again.
wouldn't be like I wouldn't have to say herbal essence or fucking Head
Oh
and
no, you
Shoulders.
could. Yeah, sure. You
okay.
said tea and coffee, like. And you didn't
Yeah,
say
yeah.
brand of coffee.
Can't go. We'll be here all
Didn't tell you
fucking
what
day,
kind of
like,
peas I
specific
got.
brand. What size was it? Was it 450 grams or 900? What did you say, Sean? What was your last one?
Toilet paper.
Oh my god! How
That's-
in a hamper?
okay, yeah.
They're gonna give you 4 rolls of toilet paper.
We'll give you the cure and the cause.
Fuck. You'd think there'd have to be something from Gubin. But I said the sausages, I said the bacon. He can't remember cheese. And now he's like, yep, there was Gubin cheese. Was there Gubin cheese?
No.
No, okay. All right. No, that's not my guess because we
I
already said
think you
cheese.
said- you
Nah,
can't
fuck that.
ask
No,
me
because I was
again.
just trying to see what the psychology on your face was. Fuck this. No, nonsense. You can all get
Oi,
out. I will turn this
I
podcast
don't give a
off
shit.
so fast.
You're the one that wanted to
the
play
fans,
this game.
The fans are going to... I'm just going to turn Dave's mic... Oh, no, I can't do it. It'll cut the whole thing out. Never mind. Fuck. All right, whatever. Fine. It's my guess. Carry on. As you were.
Oh my god, it's not this hard. Just guess something.
I know. Just say something, man. There's so many things. You're not going to be specific. Like...
Jam.
Yeah.
Fuck! I shouldn't have rushed him.
2-1.
Fucking hell. Jam, butter, bean.
No
Oh,
butter.
There's no butter. No, I didn't do those. I was just...
Sean.
I am not good at this. Fuck. I'm going to shut up.
They gave you a whiskey. You probably get 2 bottles to keep a hamper symmetrical. A bottle of gin.
Nope.
Couldn't you just put it in the middle?
Yeah.
You know how symmetry works? Sorry. That was catty.
Meow.
I was going to make a joke about that.
No,
but
there was no
not,
cat.
Because I didn't make the joke. So, fuck. What else could they have had in? Oh, marmalade.
No.
Fuck.
Like, would you call that jam? Like, would you just put that into the category?
Yeah, well, if there was...
I probably would
yeah.
have. I probably would have.
I'm a dumbass.
It's just orange jam. I don't know why
Yeah,
it
yeah.
has a different name.
That's a great point. Is it when it's...
That's
when
probably
it's
something to do with, like,
citrus?
orange, yeah,
You might have
maybe.
to actually cook it.
Yeah, it
different.
might be,
Have you made marmalade?
No.
Nah, we should watch out then.
Yeah.
The marmalade people
I'd say
will come
there's,
after us.
There's probably something.
Actually, so if you
Just
use citrus
different
with
process,
normal
probably.
canning sugar, it causes the cans to hyper-express. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Marmalade Man. I didn't mean to insult marmalade. I'm just going to talk about marmalade while Sean tries to come
Yeah,
up with
what the hell was it?
guess.
I thought it was your guess. Sorry.
No, I guess marmalade.
Yeah, okay. I was going to give you a second guess.
Who's aware?
Oh, that's really nice. All right, I'll take it then. You said past tense.
I'll go with carrot.
No.
Jesus. That's a
Jesus.
lot of... That would be a good space filler. You're like 99 cents, about half the basket filled up already. Fuck. Oh, something like... chocolate biscuits. Come on, give it to
Yeah.
me. Yeah, come on. What is it? What is
Fingers.
it? Fingers. Yeah. Oh, if you snipe me on that. All right, cool. So what's that? That's 2-2?
2-2, yeah.
What was the other one you got? You got
Tea and jam.
jam. Yeah, and I got coffee. And...
Yeah. It's just so similar.
We've been inspired. I got coffee and chocolate biscuits. All right, so we got next point wins, match point. Oh, shit's getting intense. I hope that people.
Sean still has a big to go.
We've been doing this for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. I can't believe it's so hard to
This
think
is
of things.
almost as good as Countdown, maybe better. Yeah. We should. It's a shame we don't get hampers more often. We could have been playing this game the whole time. It's fucking. I'm fucking.
Did you go in for any hamper?
What else do you get canned?
No, I didn't know it could be this much fun. He said, "What else could you get canned?" Oh,
tins of tuna.
No, that's weird. That's a big question, because you can get whole chickens canned.
Yeah.
What?
You can get you should remember I showed you the thing. You can get a Christmas dinner in a jar.
Oh
and
my
it's
god,
got
that's
5 courses.
You showed me. I don't know if you showed him.
I'm sure I showed Sean.
You did. That's fucking weird.
That's awful. But this is just a chicken. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
that one was like, oh yeah, we're gonna put your gravy on top of your pudding. It was super disgusting. You like eat through the layers, you pig.
Yeah.
Your little snout. So gross. Oh no, I want a whole chicken. How was that not the first thing that came up? Yeah, like that's so
It
gross.
looks so horrible.
It's such a huge can. Like, look at that. I know that woman's head's in the background, but the can looks bigger than her head. Have you ever even seen a can that big in your life?
Are they like?
It's a can the
Maybe
size
they're
of
like
a small
marinating.
Marinating. I
Yeah,
don't
like,
care
is
what
that-
they are. They're fucking the devil's work. That's what they are.
Man, that
Whole
looks
cans
so
of chickens.
horrible.
What was wrong with it? Like, what? It's a great idea if you're like, if it's old
People
timey
probably
days and you're
preppers probably have
dying.
them because they're probably keeping fresh or whatever.
Yeah, I know, but like if you're living like that, that's one thing. I just mean for the idea that a normal person on a Sunday,
They're
could
not.
go
I
get their
guarantee you
chicken
can't get
in a
that
can.
in Ireland or England.
Fuck no, they don't have
That's
cans
American.
that big. That's such a
That's
EU
Americans like.
The EU would ban that so fucking fast. It looks like something yellow is coming out of the bottom of it as well.
Oh man,
It's
there
gross.
is. That's fucking horrible.
It's like a yolk. It gave birth to an egg while it was inside the
Oh my god.
That's disgusting. All right. Anyway, okay. So I'm guessing he didn't. No, I'm not. That's not my guess. It's my guess, and I'm gonna guess that Dave got what else was in his fucking hamper. I'm getting bored of this, so I hope someone gets a point soon. Fuck. I'm mentally walking around Centra. I'm like, walking around the shop. I'm like, what would I get if I was filling a hamper? Can't get that because that is gonna melt. Go.
How are you
Yes.
over at the ice cream place already?
Crackers.
No. Yes.
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 Yes, he knocked it out the park. That was all visualization.
There's like
See,
a selection pack
believe,
of crackers, I'm
achieve.
sure.
Everybody, see, believe,
See,
achieve.
Sean could have won it because there could have been cheese. Like, cheese is another thing that would go into a hamper. But I would
Yeah, but
imagine
you
I would have
couldn't-
kept the cheese, like, because I like cheese.
Yeah.
Actually, do you know, if it was like a fancy cheese, I usually don't eat them. Like blue cheese or whatever.
Where-
I don't know, like cheddar. Cheddar and Gobin.
Where's this video? Oh no, I was gonna play that. I won't. There you go. Mental visualization won the game.
Good
in the
job.
end. Thank you.
There was 2 packs
So-
of batteries, of multi-level batteries. There's like
2 packs of batteries.
Yeah, like
Oh,
AA and AAA.
Wow.
And they were like, I didn't count them, and they were like that long.
You all laughed.
Whoa,
They were like,
that's a lot. That's like
Yeah, they're
30
just
euros worth of batteries.
He laughed
yeah.
so much at light bulbs. That's just
Yeah,
as
no,
bad
I
as
did.
light bulbs.
And I laughed at batteries too. But actually, I was kind of shocked. So I did.
What else is there? There's loads of stuff. There's class.
I stand by it. These are not the sort of
There's
things
like
I
ring
usually see in
pops.
a hamper.
You should have said that. Sweets.
We
Sweets
should have
could been-
said, yeah,
Sweets
no,
would have been
ring pops. Fucking.
Yeah, no, there's no way you would have
What's
guessed
a
that.
ring pop?
I'll get
There's
to
like
Mars before I
rings that-
guess ring pops.
Or pops. They're like
Like, how else do I explain this complex?
they have a ring. You know,
subject?
you've surely seen them. They have a ring, like, and
It's
they have
a
like
pop.
a big, like
Yeah,
lollipop.
It's
thing.
on your ring, and it's
Yeah.
it's a
You've
pop.
definitely seen them things.
I don't know how many times you could say it before it would sink. in.
What water bottle?
Yeah, which pop?
Water
Bottle,
When we have bottles of
Yeah,
water.
when we're drinking bottled water, plastic water bottle, fuck, line. So ridiculous. I love that when the curtain breaks down, where like these people, they're just barely humans. Like, I don't consider these politicians to be real. Like, obviously I respect them. They shouldn't be abused or whatever, but I just mean like they're barely behaving by
Yeah,
the
yeah.
rules of normal socialization. It's
Should
like-
you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Did you ever see?
I do watch that.
Terry Crews is like, oh, I like to take my Sunday off and watch sport bloopers. I like them because they humanize my heroes.
Yes. That's an excellent point. Just little stuff like that where you're like, you can see behind the facade. But especially with politicians, because
they're so like they have to be so professional. Kind of
and it's not even their personality.
Yeah, it's like the same with the Queen and stuff like that. They won't like.
Oh yes.
Like you couldn't like she's not
Andrew.
Yeah.
The Queen is the best because you can tell in her head she's like, "Fuck this bullshit."
Yeah.
She sorted her shit out. She's like, "Why is fucking Harry dressing up like a fucking Nazi again?" You're like, is it that fucking hard to just not act like a total asshole? Like, don't dress up like a Nazi. It's like rule number 3.
Yeah.
And don't fucking be a part of, like, don't have pedophile sex ring running friends. That's rule number probably 1. Like number 1. They're like, the royal family is involved in enough pedophilia. We do not need any more of it. There was some crazy shit that like came to the surface and then kind of went away a while ago about some leak about some fucking like, I don't know if it was real, some pedophile ring in the House of Commons. Like it was like,
what?
Yeah, it was like a crazy, you know when you get those leaks where they're like fucking, 1,000 documents have been released, and then you're like, oh, some crazy like when Snowden came out, you're like, whoa, some shit's gonna happen, and then you're like, and nothing ever really came of it. So okay, it's just a normal thing now. It's just a fact that we talk about. That's the thing. If you're a government official, all you got to do is you're like, just wait. Eventually, they'll just get used to the fact that that's just a thing.
Yeah,
and you don't have to do anything. If you bend while everyone's upset at the beginning, then you got to change it. Like with Hong Kong, like the way they had those protests, they just started protesting straight away and never stopped. They're just keeping the fucking iron hot. Whereas if you kind of just chill out, people just go, oh yeah, well this is just life now. That's genius. That's a good tactic. Oh yeah, so let's see what this is. House of Commons pedophile ring. I'm gonna get put on a list for searching this. House of Commons. I'm like, how do I join? Pedo ring. Westminster pedophile dossier
on Wikipedia.
That's how you know it's legit. Wikipedia is like fuck CNN, fuck Fox. If it's on Wikipedia, that's all I give a fuck about. Okay, so a dossier on pedophiles allegedly associated with the British government was assembled by the British member.
Like this is like a group.
Yeah, like the Avengers.
There's a party.
Pedophiles assemble. They put the P in the sky. Was assembled.
I just imagine them pissing up to this guy. Like I didn't think.
So it was this guy. It's like the
just
bat
beat
signal.
this guy. They will
it's
come.
Like the bat signal, but it's the bad signal. It was a dossier that was allegedly associated with the British government and was assembled by the British member of government Geoffrey Dickens, who handed it to the then Home Secretary Leon Britton, who immediately buried it. Oh, this was in 1984. Okay, so that was it. The whereabouts of the dossier is unknown. Typical. Along with other files on organized child abuse that has been held by the Home Office. They're like, what? What file? What are you talking about? What? Oh, the one with all those criminals. Oh, I don't know. Was that our? We supposed to keep that? Oh, I don't know. We shred so much stuff around here that, fucking hell.
There was that fire of 86.
And that's classic. And then they just go, oh, yes, we'll have an investigation into that investigation. You're like, it's over now, you dickheads. You had one chance. That was the investigation. You can't go,
but he ordered Cameron ordered the thing. So, because there was no...
Cameron didn't order it, did he? What?
David Cameron ordered Permanent Secretary of the Home Office Mark Sedwill to investigate the circumstances. Oh, it's not investigated.
That's what I'm just saying. Yeah, is they're like, oh, we'll look into that list. You're like, well, we looked into it. They can't find it. You're like, oh, okay, well.
That's it.
It makes people feel better when David Cameron gets on a microphone and says, we'll look into it. And you're like, no, listen. Get mad at the guys who fucked this up and be like super suspicious. You're like, dude, who is out there? Like, who's out there who's like, oh, shit. We better protect these pedophiles. Like, I don't think that's a fucking
church.
It's but that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not a popular opinion. It's like these like small groups, because it's not like most Catholics believe in that. It's like these small groups of people within the Catholic Church that believe it. I don't know how pervasive it is throughout the Catholic Church, but the idea that there's someone out there. You gotta think that the guy who made it disappear is a fucking pedophile.
Yeah.
Make a copy. Make a fucking copy. You're like, oh, that thing. That's not important, is it? Those guys who are fucking kids? Like, yeah, whatever. I'll deal with it next year. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, we'll look into it. Like, whoa. Wait, what? That I think was part of the whole Jimmy Savile thing. Because Jimmy Savile, they were saying, was protected by like members of the BBC, members of Parliament and shit. But that's fucked, eh? That like the idea that people with these like crazy depravities would like collude to become powerful people so they can like work together to fucking set this shit up. Like, you guys know about Jeffrey Epstein?
A little, like, I know I think he's
just like,
organizing, like, no.
Yeah, he seems like, so the general gist is he seems to be like suspected as like an intelligence agency operative. No one's quite sure for which country or for what group or whatever, but he had this sex island where he would bring people on this private plane, like Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew. That's why he got in trouble with that whole interview. And they would go out to this island, and I don't think it's alleged. It's alleged that like those people went out, but I think it's pretty well documented that he had this island like full of trafficked women that he would then, like, I think a lot of them were underage, and then he would compromise rich people or important people by getting them to have sex with underage women and documenting it somehow, and then now they're in your pocket. So this guy got caught. I can't remember who it was, but someone had found out about this and investigated it, and they brought charges against him. So he was in jail. What was it? So he was in jail. He attempted suicide. They put him on suicide watch, but then they left like all the shit in his cell with him. They left like multiple jumpsuits. He had like pens. He had like some string or some shit. Like literally like a smorgasbord of suicide attempts. They just left with him. And then there was some shit about
he didn't kill himself.
Well, that was the idea is that he committed suicide, but one is they're like, first of all, you weren't trying hard to make him not commit suicide. And then two, people said that his neck was broken in a way that you couldn't do if you hung yourself. Like, the videotapes from his cell and from the entire floor are missing. It's like everyone, the guards were asleep. It's like everything, all the stars aligned, and everybody, even like the head of Skeptic magazine came out and said, yes, this is probably a conspiracy. Yeah. The guy is like, yeah, it's my professional job to debunk this shit. He's like, I'm not even trying. He's like, some fucked up shit is going on with that. So then, Prince Andrew came out and gave possibly the worst interview in history in terms of like.
I didn't even know that.
Did you watch it?
I just heard like that he was.
It's so fucking weird.
Or whatever.
He's like, I'm saying with these politicians, they don't seem like real people. He talks like, you're like, dude. What's weird about it is he's like, so basically they allege this woman came out saying that he slept with her when she was like 17 or something, and he would go to these parties with Jeffrey Epstein, and then I think she was saying that she was trafficked, and then he did this. She accused him publicly. They did this. He arranged an interview. Like, why the fuck would you ever do that? I mean, let alone. I'm glad he talked, because obviously I want him to be caught. But like from your own perspective of like life preserving.
Well, like he's trying to,
But he obviously did it.
His story,
there's pictures. There are pictures of them together, and he's like, oh no. What he said it couldn't have been me, because that man in the picture is sweating. And when I was in the war, I got a disease that means that I can't sweat. So,
I've never heard of that.
So apparently there's a condition where if something shocks you, like if there's an explosion goes off or something like that, it can stop you sweating. But anyway, let's just say that that's true or whatever. That all he was showing up with. The other thing he said was, he was like, oh no, well that couldn't have been me, because I remember I was at a birthday party at a Pizza Express with my daughter, and he's like, oh no, I remember this because obviously as a royal, we don't go to Pizza Express very often. But just the way he's talking about it, right? What he just doesn't seem to get is he's not like sort of outraged that he's been accused of like pedophilia and child trafficking. He's just like, no. Let me just tell you why. I don't sweat. I was at Pizza Express. He's not like, this is this horrible thing. They asked him, they're like, do you feel remorseful for being friends with this guy? And he's like, oh well, he helped me a lot. And you're like, dude, what's wrong with you, man? Even if that's how you really feel, Like, do you just have no fucking common sense that you're like, I'm a fucking
all you
public
have to say
figure.
is, "Geez, I never would have expected him to be like that," or something.
Or
Don't be
or to say like, you know, in retrospect, it's outrageous. Like, it's disgusting what he did.
Yeah.
He's like the whole time. Never once does he go like, you know, I would never do such a disgusting thing. Like, this is terrible. I can't believe these accusations. He's just like, oh no. I mean, I fucked a lot of young girls, but not that much. It's so outrageous, and it's like 45 minutes. And usually with those interviews, you get questions pre-given to you, so you know what they're gonna say.
Yeah.
He's just like, fuck it. Like, that's how arrogant he is.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck it.
I don't know,
They
I've
have
never seen
photographic evidence.
You watched 45 minutes of an interview?
Fuck no. I just watched highlights of it.
Highlights.
Yeah, and on other people. It's that kind of interview. Like, that you... Let's fucking
Speech
watch
of the
it.
day on BBC. Fucking...
Let's watch some. Because he's a fucking creep.
I don't think I've ever
Like I'm
even
saying,
heard.
and this is like...
I don't think I've ever even heard of him up until like this thing.
I wonder if I can... Yeah, highlights is the first result. Because they're like 45 minutes. Fuck that. Even 9,
Jeez, that's still 10 minutes.
Yeah, maybe this is...
You're just going to get, they're like any short videos going to come in like quotes or whatever.
Under enormous pressure after that in that station and his religion. Prince.
It's just gonna be her
come
talking.
on, give me some scenes.
No,
they
it's
probably
just gonna
can't
be her
show it because
talking,
it's a BBC exclusive or some shit. That's so
No, I
rude.
mean, the Palace is
I hate
it's
no,
pretty
you
much
always
on
get shit like that. It's
lockdown.
so fucking annoying.
Fucking hell.
I've been looking up.
Maybe this one. CNBC, maybe.
There are new signs today of the...
Instead of like the actual thing.
For such a fiasco that Prince...
Yeah, I'd say
Fuck, that's so rude. I don't want to watch 40 fucking minutes of it. Fuck it. Alright, whatever.
Fuck it, yeah.
I pretty much gave you the highlights. He's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
And look, obviously the whole thing is fucking terrible, but it's like, what is really shocking about this is like, once you absorb the fact that there's like this, multiple politicians, successful businessmen.
But like, did you never hear about
going on.
Avicii? Like, apparently
No.
Avicii like didn't like die over an overdose because like people are saying
Oh,
that
Jesus.
he came out and he said he was going to try and tackle like these international like big pedophile rings.
That was the
and
same
stuff.
with the guy from Soundgarden, Chris something. I don't
And,
know.
like,
I
then
don't
didn't
like
even show
talking
up.
about that
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
because it's like people's real ass lives. Like,
Yeah,
some
I know,
guy
yeah, I
committed
know.
suicide, and they're all like, the thing with Epstein though is like, first of all, he's a badass.
Yeah,
he's
he's
a
a
bad
bad-
guy. He's like not even questionable. That like, there's no one has any remorse for him. And then also, it's just the craziest fucking conspiracy.
Yeah.
Just like, what? The lights are out, and then there's like pictures of his cell. Maybe we could see Epstein's cell. It must be. Oh yeah, and that was the other thing. While he's on trial, he was allowed to go home and shit. He was allowed to leave. Oh fuck, were there pictures? No, I don't know. I can't remember. There was like a pile of jumpsuits or some shit that they had left in there that he could just handily tie together and kill himself with. I don't know. Anyway, I don't fucking bother really getting involved with it, but it's like it's the hot conspiracy at the moment. And it's not even really a conspiracy. It's just like, oh, it's a fact, you know.
Yeah.
'Cause it's weird when you say the word conspiracy. Like, that means like, oh, people
Straight away,
conspire.
it's like-
but people, it's a new thing now.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's a whole. You're like, you can't even say that word and have people. You're like, oh, is this a serious thing? You're like, no. Like, conspiracies, they're always crazy. Even though we
Yeah.
know of real conspiracies, like Vietnam was a conspiracy that they went into Vietnam. The whole thing was a false flag, which is so crazy to me. Like, because my dad is like a Vietnam vet. My
Yeah.
uncle died in Vietnam, and they're like, yeah, we faked that shit. Like, it's so outrageous that that's in the public knowledge.
What?
You know?
They faked it.
Yeah, the whole war was fake.
What?
No, they faked the reason that they
Oh, the way
invaded
they went in.
Vietnam
Yeah.
was the Gulf of Tonkin, which is where like these enemy ships like fired on some American boats.
Oh, I thought
But
it was
they-
the fact that
they
like was
fired on
some other
themselves.
country at a war with them already. I don't know.
I don't know enough about the history of it. It's all about. It's all
no,
about.
was there like there's a civil war going on or something? Is
Yeah,
that-
yeah. Most wars
and like communists were,
after
like,
World War II are usually proxy wars between communism and capitalism.
Yeah,
like North Korea, or some form of like some government America doesn't like, and we don't like too in general. Like, I don't want communism.
Yeah.
I don't want big ass wars either, but I definitely don't want communism. But America was fighting communism as if communism would like invade. As
Yeah.
if, like,
They were
England
pushing it
would
war like they
become
were
communist.
feared. They were like
Yeah, it was
the
just
public people.
ridiculous. Anyone who if you live in a nice place, you don't want communism.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. It's like you have to live in a really bad place for people to think, oh yeah, well it would be nice if we shared more. Because here people are there's definitely wealth inequality in the West, but people know enough, I hope, about communism to be like, nah, that shit's lame, absolutely terrible. Oh, that story about the minister.
Didn't we talk about communism before?
Yeah, because Max, we were talking about like universal basic income and just the idea.
Oh
that,
yeah.
See, I'm kind of of the opinion capitalism is like an individual system that works from the bottom up, and communism is all top down managed. There's that great story I told the last time about the bread. The minister for bread.
Yeah,
the Russian, that they have to try and organize like how much bread do the people need? And you're like, I don't know, let them figure it out. Like if they want bread, they can fucking make it themselves. Just this crazy idea that the state is responsible to give you everything. But I'm like, dude, those are just people. Like, why would you trust them? Like, why would you trust these, especially politicians who have been shown over and over, they have an above average level of corruption and shittiness. Like, we know that it's shocking. I keep saying, like, elections should be like tests of who we don't elect. It's like if someone volunteers to be president, you'd be like, all right, cross them off the list. Like, we don't want that egotistical person. Like, it's not a job that people
Greece
should...
had it right.
Sorry?
Back in Greece.
Yeah, they all used to take turns or something.
Well, like, it would just be like a lottery, yeah.
Yeah,
like jury duty, you did your time.
Exactly. It should be like a responsibility. But then mostly, I think you should delegate to fucking experts. Because it's nonsense that we're like, I want a guy who's fucking excellent with the economy, knows all about war, I want him to be fucking good at science, I want math.
But like, if you could
maybe a lawyer as well. You're like, who is this super
You could
person?
do it in a way like that, say, they would have like, they'd have different choices for like Department of Fisheries, but like they'd have people that were in fisheries. So experts that way.
Yeah, you would select
you could select your own group.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. I think that the fucking fishing experts should elect the head of the fishing company. I'm like, what the fuck
there was
does
a minister
Trump
for
know
fisheries
about
that never ever went fishing or like knew anything about didn't even live in a coastal town or anything like.
So much of that is like they're like, oh, I'm paying my friend back, or like, oh, it looks good to have like whatever that person in there because they're known for this or something. But that's just all like, this is what I'm saying about politicians, is like those kind of people who want to play that game. Like, fuck that. I would much rather have the environmental policy made by someone who spent their whole life working on the environment and is passionate about it.
Yeah.
Like, instead we give it to people who spent their whole life trying to win popularity contests.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And chat shit.
We set ourselves up for failure with this democracy thing. But I don't know how else to do it. The other options seem really bad. Did you see that Putin?
It's all just very bad.
I saw a headline the other day that said Russian government resigns after Putin suggests changes to law. So usually when you hear that in a government, you're like, oh, they all resigned. It's like, oh, they're protesting that he's come up with some law they don't like.
Yeah.
They're like, no. In Russia, they all resigned to make it easier for him to change the law. They're like, we'll just get out of your way then. Yeah, we'll just resign and you can be head of everything, so that you won't even have to like get our signature or anything. We'll just get back. So he's now
hired him back then, like the day after getting it.
He's proposing that he just stays president. That the prime minister picks the president and the people pick the prime minister, and he's just gonna be like, come on, buddy, if you don't pick me,
I'm ready.
You're gonna have some trouble. So fucking. It's my country. They think that Putin might be the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
Because of all his hidden wealth. He might have
fucking crazy.
Trillions and trillions of dollars. Yeah, that's it. So that's what communism gets you guys. Congratulations. Or you could have somewhere else, some other nice communist country like I don't know, China has president for life. North Korea, no, president for life. Cuba, president for life.
Yeah.
Is there anyone? There's never any.
There's more in South America, isn't there? Sure, there is.
A communist country? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Venezuela, president for life.
Yeah.
These are all literally. Cuba seems quite nice in some ways, but like, and China is going through crazy economic movement. But North Korea, Russia, Venezuela, these are some of the worst economies in the world. I wouldn't want fucking anything to do with them. Oh my god! I follow the price of gold in different currencies, and in Venezuela and Boliviars, if you look at the chart, it's just at a certain point where it all went off the rails. There's just this little line down at the bottom, which is the old price, and it just goes straight up, and the grid is broken. They no longer record the price because it went into like the billions and trillions per ounce for gold. So it's so high that just like the charts in Venezuela no longer work anymore. They're like experiencing like hundreds of % inflation every day. So like the price of bread might triple in a couple of hours.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know. Let's see I think they were on track to have 1 million % inflation last year. Which is like, what? What does that even mean? You're like, I don't know. Forget about your money, basically. Let's see. In Venezuela, in 2016, Venezuela entered hyperinflation. The inflation rate reached 274% in 2016, 863% in 2017, 130%. Oh no! Oh Jesus! 130,000. I was like, oh, they had a good year.
Yeah.
No, 130,000% in 2018, 282,000% in April 2019. And the overall inflation rate has increased 53 million % since 2016. You're like, what is that even? So that's
What's it mean? Yeah,
you had $1. If you had $53 million, you now have the same value as $1. So if you had back in the day, right, in 2016, if you had 53 million Venezuelan dollars, that means that now you have $1, the same, like, I'm explaining this bad. You have the purchasing power of $1 from those old days. So you'll have obviously the same number in your bank account, but what you can buy, let's say 53 million would have bought you like a mansion in Venezuela in 2016. Now you can buy like a pack of matches or something. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, so let's see Venezuela bread price. If the minister for bread has been doing his job, then they should have So basically, in Venezuela, people only survive by like scavenging for food or for government handouts. So
eating bread has become a luxury in Venezuela.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Man, the price.
See how many bills it took to buy a chicken in Venezuela. Oh my God, it's gonna be like a fucking car full of. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
And you think about like when you get a stack of money, you're like disappointed. You're like, oh, I thought 1,000 would be bigger. It's really small. Look at those. Those are stacks. It's like 5 times the size of a chicken. So you need like 5 times the volume of money in chicken. Think about what we pay. We give them a $5. Compare that to the size of a chicken. The chicken might be 100 times smaller, and they need 5 times the size of a chicken in fucking notes.
And like, that looks like a big chicken.
Yeah, for real. And those are probably not like 5s.
Oh,
those are probably millions or some retarded. Like, let's see what the number is. How much did the chicken cost? Like, a kilo. Oh, they're giving us. Oh, this is cool. They're pictures. Okay, so if anyone wants to type in, you could Google this. See how many bills it took to buy a chicken in Venezuela. NBC News. So it's all these pictures. It says the stack of 14 million Boliviars or $2. So that's the kind of thing you're like, what's the point? So what they did was to try and fix it. He was like, the president was like, I got this genius plan. He's like, we're going to make this all better. We're just going to chop off 4 zeros. He's like, just chop it off. You're like, dude, that's not how money works. You can't just change the number and everyone's like, oh, okay, I feel better. So he changed the number and then the inflation went even faster because that's just obviously an inflationary tactic to just create more money. That's essentially creating more money.
Yeah, like that guy in Africa, I can't remember which country.
Mugabe in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, he just thought if I print more money, we'll have more money.
And this is what happens when you don't have economists. Or actually, it's often what happens when you do have economists. Because a lot of times people learn these crazy ideas from the past. And they're like, no. The problem was they just didn't print enough money. If you just keep printing. But look, this kind of thing is happening to almost every nation on Earth. Just at a slower rate.
Yeah.
Like Venezuela and Zimbabwe are stark examples. Argentina, it's happening as well.
Yeah, no, I just said, I looked up something there and it said it's more serious than that of those in Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Nicaragua, Peru, and Zimbabwe.
Yeah, Latin America is really bad for it. Like when I was in Argentina, we would go and buy, we had to go to the black market for money. So you would get dollars. You can't. So in Argentina, they have capital constraints. So you can only take out, I think the maximum, it's like $50 from the ATM or something like that. So they have their currency, but a lot of the time, basically the currency is so devalued, they don't trust it. So everyone's always trying to get their money in euros or dollars. So a lot of people get paid in euros and dollars. So obviously to get euros and dollars, they have to have people smuggle them into the country somehow. So what tourists do is, like I was in Uruguay, which is just literally like over a little river. So people will take trips to Uruguay to use ATMs in Uruguay and smuggle dollars back in. So they'll go every day to Uruguay, take out the maximum $200, bring it home, stuff it in their fucking mattress, and go there the next day. And so we would bring our dollars in, bring hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and then you go to this. It was so fucking sketchy. You go to this alley, or not this alley, it's the street where all these guys are, these exchangers, and you walk down the street and you find someone. And then so we found one of these guys, and this guy brings us into this apartment block. And then we get into this tiny little elevator, and we go up to like the fucking top floor. And then we walk down this tiny little hallway, and at the end of the hallway, there's just this fucking huge dude, like comically big, like like Breaking Bad, the black dude from Breaking Bad, like just a heavy dude there. You know the guy that they get to help like move the money in the later seasons. Oh shit, Sean wouldn't know because he's like the one who's with Bill Burr.
You haven't seen.
Yeah, he hasn't finished it. Isn't that crazy? But I mean, it's his life. But
Yeah.
I just think that it's.
No, I do want to watch it.
I highly recommend it. But anyway, so there's this guy at the end of the hallway, just this huge like security guard, basically. So they bring us down into the hallway. The guy opens the door. They fucking sit us down at this desk, and there's just this guy with just a money counter, just in this like tiny little office. They fucking lock the door behind us, and they're like, "All right, give us your money." And you just fucking give them all your dollars, and they give you like a way better exchange rate than the government's exchange rate.
Yeah.
Because the government, to try and counteract these things, they just say, "Oh yeah, you think our money's worth this, but it's not. It's actually worth like twice that." And then everyone's like, "No, it's not, you fucking idiot."
Yeah.
So then to get around that, they have to have controls on money. So like if you're going on holiday in Argentina, you can only get, like say you're going on a 14-day holiday, you're only allowed to get like say €20 per day or something. There's like a limit. Even if you're a millionaire, like the government won't get your money. Like I went to, at the end of my trip in Argentina, I went to exchange the rest of my Argentinian dollars into Chilean peso or whatever, into dollars or something. And they were like, "Oh yes, where's your government certificate?" And I was like, "What?" They're like, "Oh, you have to get approval from the government to change money." And I was like, "Oh, well, fuck it. Okay, all right, I'll just go buy."
How'd you find out that like where the street was and thing?
Well, actually, my friend Daniel that I was traveling with, it's really widely known, but it's like a public secret. You know how like governments have to allow certain things to happen, or else the whole society will collapse. So it's like they just turn a blind eye. Like I learned about, North Korea's economy. We were talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
How hey Sean, I've ruined the surprise now, but like I won't even bother. But you could ask someone, you're like, what country in the world is weed legal and women have much better rights than men? Obviously it's North Korea. I'm the surprise. But in North Korea, like everybody has a government job. So but women can get exempt from government work by becoming full-time housewives, which is like a kind of, it's like they turn a blind eye, and what happens is the women start side businesses. So they sell things on the side of the road or whatever, and as a result, women make like 5 to 10 times as much as the male salary. So it's the complete reverse, and then some over there, where like the dudes are really like, "We get some money to go to," what would they do? They would probably have like chicken fights. Now apparently actually in North Korea there's like there are cities that you can go to that are like just like a Western city. Like the capital apparently has got like clubs, people drive like Ferraris and Lamborghinis and shit, and they like smuggle all of this shit into the country somehow. It's fucking crazy country. But yeah, so we knew it was there because it's popular knowledge, but also my friend Daniel's cousin lived in Buenos Aires, so he took us to like one of the particular guys. So that at least we didn't have to like worry so much about being robbed. But the whole thing was so weird. They're like, "Hey, come in. We're gonna lock you in this tiny little room. There's 2 giant dudes, like 2 of the biggest humans you've ever seen in your life. Now give us all your money and just assume that we will give you more money back." I'm like, okay. But obviously, yeah,
it's a thing like so.
Yeah, exactly. But it was definitely.
If you were like cheeky to them, they might just rob you, like, because they probably can. Like,
Yeah, well, you're breaking the law. It's like anything, like a drug deal or something, where you're like, I don't have much legal recourse here in this situation here. You're like, hello, officer, he stole my drugs. That's why that fucking police call, or the police guy calls the fucking 911 on himself because he's too high.
Yeah.
It's just so
Oh my God.
gold. I won't play because we've all heard that before. And it's like, the actual call, I think, is like 9 minutes.
Yeah, it's ages, yeah.
He's going in. I think we're dead.
I feel like I'm dead.
Yeah, he's like, time's going really, really slow.
Yeah.
So where's your wife? He's like, she's lying on the floor.
Yeah.
Is she breathing? He's like, let me check. yeah, she's breathing. It was so fucking ridiculous. I love
definitely
that.
You ever
PCB or
hear the
something like
police call, or I think it's an ambulance call, where the guy rings him up that his wife had, I think he says, hit by a boar.
Jesus.
And
a wild boar.
What? I don't know what he's on about.
But they ask him what's the address, and he says such a number, Eucalyptus Drive, and they're like, could you spell it? You know what? I'm gonna drag her on over to Oak Street.
That's ridiculous. Google eucalyptus. I don't know.
You've got what are you telling me to Google?
No. I was just saying to the person on the phone asking how to spell eucalyptus.
Oh, yeah.
If you're like, well, we can only save you, sir, if you can correctly spell. If you can't spell eucalyptus, sir, I'm sorry, your wife is gonna die.
Can you spell eucalyptus?
EUCALYT. LYPTUS. Like eucalyptus.
That's how I would have gone.
But in all fairness, I have an abnormally high exposure to the word eucalyptus because my dad grows eucalyptus trees.
Oh yeah.
I'd be kind of pissed if I couldn't spell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good word.
Oh yeah, I've definitely seen that.
Maybe of Greek origin. Should we look up the etymology of eucalyptus? Guys, come on. Nothing crazier than a Monday evening at Liam's. Etymology of Greek? It sounds Greek. Yeah, it's Greek. Nailed it. That's all the countdown I've been playing. Thank you, Susie Dent. Thank you very much. Anyway, yeah, so what I was saying about the hyperinflation is that's happening to everyone. Like all of the euro, like the dollar, they all experience much lower levels, but every single year the euro loses, between 1% and 3% of its value, which in 30 years means you lose 75% of it. So if you were just to take some euros right now and like put them in a box to like save them for your grandkids, like if you could buy a house with that amount now, you'd probably be lucky if you could get a car with that in 30 years.
Yeah.
Which is like a real bummer, which is why I follow the price of gold. Because it's interesting. Because the price of gold is actually the rate of inflation in some ways. There's obviously other things that affect it, but it's an interesting...
Just in countries like used to measure their wealth by having much gold they had.
Well, it was about... So the printing of money used to be tethered to the amount of gold that you held in your reserves. Yeah. So in America, it used to be that $1 was worth $1 was worth 1 ounce of gold. No, $1 was worth 1 gram of gold or something like that. But you could literally go to the Federal Reserve Bank in New York and give them your dollars, and they would give you the equivalent in gold. That was the deal. Like, because otherwise you're like, what the fuck is this piece of paper? It's this subtle trick that we've played. It's not a trick per se, but like slowly over time, people have become accustomed to the idea of just exchanging meaningless paper. But initially, what it was, like when it first started out, like you had these rare metals back in the day, like gold and silver, that kings would mint coins out of, and then that would be like the currency of the land. And then over time, like the actual value of the metal was the value. So you would have like a pound, like US dollars before, or US quarters before 1950 something, are actually solid silver. So it's like, that's the value of it. And then people are like, but gold is just a fucking pretty thing. You're like, no, you piece of shit. Like, you use gold is in every cell phone. They use gold in dentistry. Like, it's an incredible material. It's almost impossible to destroy. Sorry?
It's everywhere. Gold. Like,
yeah. In just little bits that people would never really notice. But like, that's the value, as opposed to a euro. Like, what are you going to do with euro? Like, shred it up and use it as insulation? Like, it's just fucking. It's not even good paper. You can't even write on it. It's specifically designed to not be writable on. So what they used to have was that they would have the link between gold there's a thing called Bretton Woods, which I think is 1946, just after World War II. They tried to basically figure out how do we stop something like the Weimar Republic happening again, which is what led to Hitler's rise, essentially, because Germany, just before World War II, went into hyperinflation as well. So you had that same situation, and that's why Hitler blamed it on the guys who signed the Versailles Treaty, and of course the Jews. So then they used that to fuel the public outrage and yada yada. So the idea, that's why they set up the IMF, and they set up the UN. I don't know if this is all the same thing. Yeah. And then Bretton Woods essentially was what they decided was, instead of having everybody hold gold and figure out what each person's currency was worth based on their gold, everybody would tie their value to the US dollar, and the US dollar would tie their value to gold. So the US dollar would be worth, $1 was equivalent to a certain amount of gold held in a safe, and then you knew that a franc was worth at a varying amount based upon that dollar. So the dollar was the link to the gold. And then in the 70s, during the 70s, Nixon, that was it. America started, they would sell off pieces of their gold to fund debts, and eventually they had got down to the point where everybody was really suspicious that the United States wasn't actually holding their gold for them. So France requested all of their gold to be repatriated in the 70s. So they got all of their gold shipped out and sent to them. And Nixon was like, fuck this. If there's a run on the bank, obviously they didn't have enough gold to give everyone their gold. So they cut the tie with the gold reserve. So now from the 70s onwards, you can there's no longer that link. And that is when inflation goes off. And you have situations like in 2008, in America alone, they printed something like $3 trillion or something like that. So that's just new money into the economy. And it doesn't just go straight the price of bread doubles. It gets seeped through the economy. They give it out to banks, but overall, there's more money and the same amount of shit. So slowly the price goes up, and it can get really bad. These places where it's you can't even keep up, and it's give up on money. So yeah, we'll see what happens during the next recession, because usually what they do is they cut interest rates and they print money, and interest rates are at 1%, and in some countries they're negative, so they can go more negative, which is just. A negative interest rate is just one of the funniest things you could ever imagine. Where they're like, yeah, we're going to pay you to borrow money from us. Yeah. And then if you want to keep money in the bank, well, we're going to charge you. We're going to lend it to other people and make money off it, but it'll cost you. You're like, what the fuck? Yeah. It's such a trick, because you're once upon a time, banks would pay you for the privilege of taking your money and lending it to other people. And now we're just very accustomed to just money just sitting there and doing fucking nothing. Losing value. Yeah. So everyone should be outraged, but probably not, because that takes a lot of energy. So whatever. Or not. It bothers me. I think I would like to have it tied to something, because otherwise it's just fucking nonsensical. But whatever. As long as it doesn't get that bad, it's not really a fucking big deal. Fuck it. Yeah. All right. Fucking hell. That's almost 2 hours. We call it quits. We'll take a little break, at least. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm calling it quits.
My ears are sore.
No one objected. Yeah, you won't realize how sore your ears are.
Oh my god, yeah, that was